And I can't represent myself. I am myself. I'm a Moorish American national.
You don't just come in and say, I'm my own country, I'm going to do what I want. So you're going.
This sovereign citizen just learned the hard way why you don't disrespect the judge in his own courtroom. This guy had already missed court 3 times before this appearance, treating the whole process like it wasn't serious and constantly clogging up his case as if it were no big deal. A few months back, the judge actually tried to be patient and give him a fair chance. But now that patience has completely run out, the judge is done playing games, and he delivers a dose of harsh reality that this guy truly deserves. With zero tolerance for nonsense, the judge shuts him down completely and hands down a verdict that is both firm and deeply satisfying to witness. So without further delay, let's dive in and watch this clown get absolutely destroyed and humbled by a no-nonsense Michigan judge who is 100% in control.
Driving suspended charges that were scheduled for jury trial. File 21213ST alleges driving suspended second offense on January 31st, 2021 here in St. Joseph County. File 202073 alleges driving suspended on September 17th here in St. Joseph County. I think there may be a speeding charge with that. File 202653 also charges driving suspended second offense and forgery and speeding. All those matters were scheduled for jury trial today, November 10th. Mr. Morrow Bay wishes to represent himself on these matters. He has a perspective on the Michigan Motor Vehicle Code that disagrees with the state's version of it, but he didn't want an attorney and didn't wish to have representation. He wanted to represent himself in all of these matters. So we treated him like an attorney. We set the matter for a final pretrial to prepare for jury trial. And he didn't show up. So there are presently 3 arrest warrants for Mr. Morrow Bay's arrest for failing to appear for duly scheduled last pretrials about 3 weeks ago. We don't show up on the morning of trial with a basket full of papers and inconvenience 30 to 50 jurors who have to come in and hear your case and several witnesses without preparing for it. So we scheduled a pretrial conference and you didn't show up. So I've called off the jurors for today and the prosecutor has called off all the witnesses. And there are currently 3 separate warrants for your arrest for failing to appear. But you're here now.
I think I was unaware.
We sent that to the address that you gave us. And if you're representing yourself, you need to act like you're representing yourself. We sent you duly notice to your Sage Street address in Kalamazoo. The same notice you got for this.
I don't live there anymore, and I can't represent myself. I am myself.
All right, well, I'm not clairvoyant. I don't know that you moved. So, Mr. McNair, you're driving me crazy. I'm going to put you in the waiting room. You're walking all over the place and flashing the screen and giving me vertigo, and you're sideways and upside down. And so I'll be with you in a bit. Don't go away. Yes, that's your position. Then you're not doing a very good job of it, because you didn't tell me where you lived. You didn't show up for a pretrial while we prepare for this. And now you come rolling in with a hat on the morning that your 30 or 40 jurors are supposed to be here. That's not a very good way to do business.
It's my religious headdress. I'm a Moorish American national.
Yes, I recall.
And honestly, this is something I've never understood when watching these sovereign citizens. Why do they always show up to court wearing a hoodie, a hat, and looking like they just rolled out of bed? It's baffling. You're literally standing in court, facing serious charges, and yet you can't even put in the bare minimum effort to look presentable. Obviously, the judge has jurisdiction, so why not at least show some respect? If this clown genuinely believes the court has no authority over him, then why even bother showing up instead of just staying home? That strategy clearly hasn't worked out for him, considering he's already missed 3 previous court dates, which explains why the judge is so furious right now. If you want even the slightest chance of the judge taking your arguments seriously, you'd think you'd try to show that you care about the situation. But no, these people walk in like, yeah, I'm here to argue with the judge while looking like I'm about to go shopping or take a nap. It honestly seems like they're actively sabotaging their own case. If I were the judge, I'd be like, nope, you're not getting away with showing up like that. Watching him get called out for it was very satisfying.
Proven jurisdiction to begin with.
Ms. Davis is here
I'm still waiting for
on
jurisdiction.
behalf of the prosecutor's office. Ms. Davis, you have any thought on this?
Your Honor, I would ask that he be held in contempt for failing to appear at the last pretrial. I would also ask that an order enter regarding discovery if all of these items that he's holding on to are intended to be used as exhibits at the trial. I would like to have copies of those so that we can be prepared. Also, I'd like to have our motion for joinder of the cases heard so we can settle that matter prior to choosing the jury and having another date set.
Right in the middle of my busy arraignment morning when I have 14 people waiting to be arraigned, that probably won't work out too good. But it's all on him. He didn't show up. He also got notice of your motion. Mr. Morrow Bay, do you have documents that you were going to present as part of your defense?
I mean, I mailed in documents and I never got a response.
Well, did you have some? Do you have some you wish to present?
Well, I mailed in an affidavit to you more than once, and this is also my legal notice for my lawful name change, because I put it on the record that I'm a Moorish American national and I'm not American or a U.S. citizen. Excuse me. I'm a man of the land. I'm native to the land. So, so a lot of these rules that that the state of Michigan is creating does not.
Even going into it, this hearing felt a little different from the others I usually cover, simply because the judge was so sharp and precise in the way he handled the courtroom. Judge Middleton in particular has this calm but commanding presence that makes it clear he's in total control, and watching him operate is honestly impressive.
Since the beginning, in a respectful manner. And I have lots of documentation to prove it.
All right. I want you to take Mr. Perdue into custody. We're going to execute the 3 bench warrants that are currently out for his arrest for contempt. We'll take him to jail and we'll make an arrangement later to discuss.
Are you arresting me right now? Wow.
I don't have time to do it now. Thank you. Bye. Mr. Perdue, you're going to jail, the St. Joe County Jail here in St. Joe County, and I'm going to hold on to you in lieu of 3 $1,000 bonds till we can review your contempt and the other things we need to deal with. But if you're going to represent yourself, you need to do it right. You need to show up when you're supposed to show up. You need to follow the rules of evidence and procedure. You don't just come in and say, I'm my own country, I'm going to do what I want. So you're going to jail.
I was unaware.
The bond is $1,000 per file, and I will talk with you later. So right now you're going to the St. Joe County Jail. All right, we'll deal with him, Deborah, when we have more time. But he's clearly in contempt. And he is his own person, so he isn't representing himself. He is himself. We'll see if.
This hearing stood out from the others I usually cover because Judge Middleton was absolutely flawless in the way he ran the courtroom, leaving almost no room for the sovereign citizen to spew his nonsense. He allowed the guy to talk just enough to dig his own grave, which actually helps later when it's time for sentencing. Everything he says can and will be used to make his case worse. I loved how Judge Middleton didn't waste any time and literally picked up the phone mid-hearing to call the sheriff's office and have the guy arrested on the spot. This clown had the nerve to walk into court after already having 3 warrants for failing to show up, and still tried to argue with his usual living man nonsense. His main argument was that he doesn't identify as an American, yet he wants to live in the country because it's the best in the world, somehow thinking he doesn't need to follow any laws. It's so ridiculous it's hard to even say out loud. Honestly, it blows my mind. It's 2025, and I remember thinking years ago that by now, society would be way more advanced, that people would be smarter and more sophisticated, but instead it seems like things have gone backwards. I guess I'm not completely surprised though, considering how the internet and media have allowed every kind of bizarre opinion to spread. Still, it's wild to watch people like this act like the law doesn't apply to them in the real world. That's part of what makes these hearings so entertaining, just seeing the meltdown unfold. Judge Middleton handled it all with total calm and control, completely owning the situation and showing that this sovereign citizen never had a real shot. But I'd love to know what you all think. Was the judge too harsh, or did he give this guy exactly what he deserved? Let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Take care, everybody.